let's see here. There we go. It's starting to be routine now to log into these things. I'm starting to know muscle memory where to click, and I remember in the beginning I forgot about
after all this time, right?
Yeah, all the times you use Zoom and stuff, and yeah.
Your repurposed freighter drifts through space. As you stare out at the star-flecked void, another ship comes in. Wait, is this sci-fi? I thought we agreed on a World War II campaign. Oh. Did we? That's cool. I can pivot. The smell of smoke curdles in your nostrils. Hold up, I thought we were prepping for a zombie apocalypse campaign. Alright, here's what we're doing. It's the year 3700. Humanity's elite fled to other planets long ago, taking with them all forms of advanced technology. Earth survivors scrape by with historic tools as weird phenomena plague abandoned nuclear sites. Witnesses report seeing glowing lights and the dead rising from their graves. And amidst the chaos, 3 strangers will meet in a dim bar. A veteran zombie slayer, a disgraced general out for revenge, and a space mercenary sent to investigate the power plants. Now describe your characters.
Oh, cool.
How did you do that? I have the right tools for the job.
Hey, Dale.
Hello.
Thanks, Dragon.
Hello, Dragon here. Yep. There we go.
A story once spoken is ageless. The dungeon imagined without end. The curious are the ones most courageous. The tree that endures.
The rakers, huh? That makes sense. Big bone.
From stillness, the mad mage is stirring. From countless voices, the castle takes.
That sounds fun.
Zagig will test the enduring. Those unlucky will never escape.
Sponsors owe me some new vids, so I'm working on it. You know how hard that is. Maybe not. Oh, nice.
POV, I had 30 minutes before my campaign group showed up and I was totally unprepared. I grabbed my ready set encounter box and boom, everything I needed for an epic session. Adventure hooks, map tiles, loot tables, stat blocks, and miniatures, all ready to go. My players still think I spent hours planning our great dragon encounter. If you're a busy dungeon master, get Ready Set Encounter live now on Kickstarter.
Andre Gironda, thank you.
POV, I had 30
Recent
minutes
follow.
before my
I really
campaign
appreciate
group
it.
showed up and I was totally unprepared. I grabbed my Ready Set Encounter box and boom, everything I needed for an epic session. Adventure hooks, map tiles, loot tables, stat blocks, and miniatures, all ready to go. My players still think I spent hours planning our great dragon encounter. If you're a busy dungeon master, get Ready Set Encounter live now on Kickstarter.
Mike.
Hey, yep.
Hey, Jeremy. What's up, Josh? Worth. Let's see. Hey, Gianna. So for some of you who are new to playing in the campaign or whatever, let's maybe give you a little more background on where your characters come from.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the aspects that is important to this.
Yeah.
In this, when it comes to the Demi-Human Realms and stuff. Yep.
Plus history.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Chef.
Yeah, we have to talk about the nature of GREYHAWK, meaning the publication nature and the tradition of GREYHAWK and stuff, because this ties into a lot of how the demi-humans are being treated through and it's changed a lot through the life of the setting, so to speak.
Yeah, but it's changed. I think. Well, we can talk about that for the worse.
Yeah, I was
everything's
going to. I agree with you,
Yeah,
and I also have reasons why I think that happened.
Yeah.
I agree with you that it was
Yeah.
not done well, but
Right.
that was also for a reason, and then it was
Well, Jeremy.
for other reasons not done that well. Eventually,
Lots of reasons.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Reasons. Yes, Phineas Fingers taught you all you need to know about 8 halflings because they're all evil, right there. Dale, what a great and we went over that comic a couple months back. That was great. That was a fun Gavin show, going over some of those old comics. Welcome everyone, kicking off the week. No 6 streams this week, everyone. Only 4. Okay, so I can't do 6. My gosh, that was crazy last week. But 4 is enough. And as we're waiting for Mike to hop on, highlighted by 2 great games. Here, I just popped them up. I'll show them at the end too, because we got Grace Crane Wrights joining us for tomorrow night, Underdark Adventure. Gom and his crew get to go fight Underdark creatures. So there you go. All female cast except for Rob, which is cool. And then Saturday is a favor return. We got Myriad and we got Spronkles, Mandy, Corgan, Rob, and we may have 1 or 2 other ads, but I just had to get that up and going, so we're good. And I'll leave. Whoops. All right. Now where did my other? There we go. I knew I had things set up. When do I have Dragon 155? Okay. What's up, Mike?
Thank you.
Ready to rock and roll this out. Yes. Now, we kind of did this a while back, and we went on it in a little different way. I don't know how this direction will go tonight, but let's just have fun with it, right? You can always ask questions or give us your input on
Yes, please do.
on the
Yep.
demi-humans.
Mm-hmm.
So
When we
Mike
get
and I are
stuck.
having a little sidebar discussion. We might as well go right to that first and say how GREYHAWK with demi-humans has changed over the years from first edition to
Mm-hmm.
5th, and it hasn't been for the better. So go ahead, Anna. Tell us
Well,
your
I was
theory.
going to say it's been a hit and miss, and more often miss than hits. That seems to be the kind of the story of GREYHAWK in some ways. And originally, I think it was because Gary wanted a human-centric world that was centered on humans, and the other ones were sprinkled in as cool kind of uh, to make the world cool and interesting, so to speak. And I think part of it was probably due to game balance, because these exotic things had vision and they could use magic and all sorts of stuff that was kind of scary, and it was hard to make them fit. And it was important that all characters in that sense were kind of equal, and you wouldn't have a lot of meaning you had level caps and all sorts of stuff that we talked about when we kind of discussed the rules of it.
Yeah.
That I think was kind of putting over into the design of the setting, but I also think that maybe it was something that he wanted it to be a little bit different from Tolkien. I think Gary had a kind of a Tolkien complex is the wrong word, but I think he was careful to make sure that GREYHAWK wasn't a complete kind of a carbon copy of the Tolkien world. It's interesting because that's something we need to talk about later, because then come Carl Sargent, who definitely didn't have any of those hangups.
No.
And he kind of switched things, especially with the elves.
Oh,
But
yeah.
so that meant that the halflings and the elves and the dwarves that are very Tolkien-esque in Gary's interpretation they definitely didn't get as thorough treatment as the humans did. They were only there to be cool on the sides in a way. That was the original, my intent of it, when you read, so that was the intention I saw behind the folio and the 83 box set. They were treated in not the same way as the humans at all.
Hmm. What are your thoughts on that, Mike?
Um, yeah, I think Carl was just more of a realist about what was going on with Gary's setting. And Gary was probably thinking he's backpedaling a little because of business reasons.
Yeah, I think so too. That was the part of it. Yeah. They were being sued by the Tolkien estate. So that, if nothing else, and they were a young company back then. So that, if nothing else, probably made them a bit hesitant.
Agreed. Um, so number one, why gnomes?
Yeah, that's the interesting one. And that is the one I think they just threw in because they were cool. I'm not even sure who actually invented them. Do we have any other fantasy worlds from that? Meaning, do gnomes, are they in any of the stories of Jack Vance or any of that
I
stuff?
don't know.
That
I'm not an expert enough
No,
on that.
meaning exactly. I'm not on the other ones, but it seems to me like someone just came up with the idea. Well, let's put in gnomes, garden gnomes, so to speak, with funny
Yeah,
hats and all that.
But
Yeah,
BB, hobbits are called halflings in Lord of the Rings books. That's like a slang term for hobbit, is halfling.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And they were called hobbits originally in TSR stuff too, and then
yep,
changed to halflings when they got sued.
yep. What were you gonna say on that, Mike?
gnomes may have just been from uh, whatever you want to call it, myth. Not any particular like one thing. It might have just been.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Like what do you call them? The fairy tales,
Hmm.
fairy tale stuff. That's common. Everyone knows what a gnome is. You don't have to explain what a gnome is to people.
Right, and gnomes are gnomes are fairy tales. But hey, Dragonlance put them in and spun them as tinkerers, and Forgotten Realms did put them in, so they're in the other settings too.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that
yeah,
gnomes became popular, and Pathfinder have Golarion has really made a thing with gnomes. They
yeah,
took on a whole different kind of vibe and
yep.
became really cool creatures in Golarion. So yeah.
So yeah, no, like the Polish dictionary it said, horse. So for me, I don't know if Gary ignored them. I just when Gary's putting together his world, and where he's merging in the Great Kingdom with Blackmore with all the other stuff, right, that he has.
Hmm.
And he's like, "Oh my God, we don't have any realms that are really demi-human. We don't have any. I got to put them here." And so he just started. He started. I mean, he literally probably I don't say threw them in. Hey, Mandy, I don't want to say that, but like I don't know if they're an afterthought, but he realized, well, I got to have some. I'm glad he had some. I mean, because it's where my main campaigning goes. But it, as the additions went, we know what the sergeant went
Yeah, but
very
go back again
yeah,
even before the additions, because one of the roots of the roots of the Greyhawk campaign is the Castle and Crusade Society had a that was more that started out as kind of a war game, and then I don't know how much role-playing game it actually
yeah,
became out of it, but it was, I mean, we have to remember this came from war games. That was medieval war games.
hmm
And then they took on single personas and they start playing when they after they read Lord of the Rings and other fantasy, they started playing fantasy-esque. So we have a kind of a human bias built in both in the mindset and the rule set of people who played medieval war games in the 60s and the early 70s that then led into Chainmail and Castle and Crusade Society, D&D, and Greyhawk.
based on
Yeah.
realistic medieval combat.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. I mean, yeah, they did
yeah,
sieges and stuff. I
this
mean,
is
that's where this stuff comes from.
right.
So I'm sure that it inherited a lot of stuff that have been shedded over the years. Other settings and game systems that were both came from were inspired by D&D and fantasy, where there were defined fantasy and a lot of cool stuff around for decades. Meaning, but Greyhawk comes from an era where there were very little fantasy compared to today to actually hang up your to base it on, so to speak.
So, okay. I'm
That was
just
me
noting here.
trying to go really deep here. It's more like my thoughts than and
Right,
theories rather than it's not,
right.
don't base it on facts. It's my speculation of what might have happened and why we started where we
No,
started, so to speak,
I'll
with
say
Greyhawk.
this: TSR brought the Divine Right war game out with fantasies, and there's dwarven armies and kingdoms and elven. I'm not sure if there's halfling or gnome in there, but I know those two are in there. So they had some combat wargaming with fantasy races back then. But um, it seemed like though you had your demi-human realm areas. There's more than you think. Um, and then we get through third edition, and I'm not an expert on what happened during Living Greyhawk, so I'm going to skip that.
No,
But let
but no, we don't skip it because I
no,
think that's a
I'm skipping it because I
oh,
can't
okay,
I
yeah.
can't I can't make surmising on
No, but
me
I have
personally.
theories of I have speculations on that too. But
Yeah, fourth
we
and
get
fifth
to
edition,
Living
just
Greyhawk, yeah.
everything was melded together, man. Right. In
Well,
fifth
and
edition, there's
fifth
no differentiation between
no,
anything.
but fifth edition is this, meaning fifth edition is based on half a century of D&D and fantasy evolution, so to speak. That's what fifth edition is based on. So then we have all this stuff has been around for decades, has been written about in novels and games and movies and everything. It's meaning 5e builds upon all the experience of D&D and fantasy for half a century.
But it's not
And that's
Greyhawk.
why it can.
It's not a
No, but
Greyhawk feel to
Greyhawk
it.
is part of that legacy, so to speak. And 5e is no, it's not Greyhawk. 5e is the rule set to play all sorts of stuff, including probably
Right.
Greyhawk too.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was probably the
It's
idea,
one
is
size
my
fits
guess.
all,
Yeah, exactly. It's the
and
hot dogs of rules because it was
right,
supposed to be the rules replacing them all. That was, I guess, was the whole idea.
right.
Yeah,
But it's the farthest thing. The base rules are now the farthest thing from Greyhawk you possibly have. There are no half-orc paladins running around in Greyhawk, right? There just aren't. Right? There aren't. I'm sorry.
but in that sense, make Greyhawk your own is a good old tradition there too.
I
So I
understand
wouldn't
that, but
hold it. Yeah,
but note, tell me a
not
single
in earlier of published Greyhawk.
right,
Exactly.
a
No,
single
they're not.
published source through all
Yeah.
the Sergeant era. That's what I'm trying to say is it
Hmm.
lost something. It lost
Yeah.
it lost its uniqueness, and that's why I think we're all trying to bring it back
but
to
but
its
oh,
uniqueness.
but I also see 5e as the rule set. I see as making things possible, not to limit things. And that I think is the huge difference. The early rules were there to limit, say, oh, you play this, you can play that, or you can play this, but you can't play anything else. 5e has modern rules have more the opposite idea. These are all the cool things you can do, and they present like a buffet of stuff to choose from, and it's not catered to Dragonlance or to Greyhawk or any of those sensibilities. It's just like, oh, here's a kitchen sink. You can play
Right.
whatever and then go with it.
But
It's a different philosophy. Yeah.
I understand that, and when you know the old saying, when you have something for everyone,
Yeah.
you have something for no one.
Yeah. Yeah. And exactly. I totally agree. That's why I want to
Yeah,
create my own rule set for the same
absolutely,
very reason. Yeah. So I
100%.
totally agree with you. I just
Yeah,
wanted to explain where I think 5e came from, why they came
yeah.
up with those ideas. But yeah, and there's a lot of, and those ideas of kind of
They're
go anywhere started with third edition, really. It was kind of a gradual from OD&D to first edition AD&D, and then second edition. They
yeah.
opened up gradually, and then the floodgates opened in third edition, kind of
Michael.
thing.
Michael, do I need a new shout out? I probably do, so I'm not gonna shout you out.
Yeah. But those are the rules side. I'm more
Right, right. No,
interested in discuss. We
absolutely.
should discussing the
Oh, sure.
setting side, the
Just giving
fluff
a little
bit.
background on what we
Yeah.
thought
Hmm.
happened to
Uh,
Yeah.
demi-humans. That's all. Um, but there are a lot of demi-humans, a lot more than you think.
Oh yes, there is
Yeah,
like
a lot more than
that
you think.
tradition of reading between the lines. When
Yep,
you read the Greyhawk stuff, read between the lines, and there's like enormous possibilities that opens up, which I think are the
yep.
cool. way of looking at it.
Yeah, Mike. Well, just get it to me. Just get it to me tonight, and I'll put it in for tomorrow's game. It's all right, Mike. All right. So where are we going first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about we go to places we just don't use that much, and then work our way back to stuff we do at the end.
If you look at the folio and box set, so to speak, and take the 76 era as it described in the first few years, like the folio and the box set,
Yeah.
there are very few realms that are described with an entry in the setting. Selene, High Folk are a few, but there are only a few. But there are more that are hinted at and that are in between the lines. There are multiple more, so to speak, that I think you can
Well, and there are a
hint.
lot of places. So why don't we
Hmm.
first off do this? So I got the map up
Yeah,
here, but let's talk
yeah.
about in the past first. We're gonna
Nice.
go, and then we're gonna go into present, which is, let's assume 576 for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into the past. So and we go to Mike's map here, which you had a couple weeks ago up. All right, Mike.
Jumping right in there.
Well, yeah. So this shows Elven, but does this show others too? Does this show dwarves? Like you
The
got a lot
coolest map
of
ever.
names on a lot of these mountains ranges. So
I think it's just elves.
just elves.
If I
Okay.
recall, maybe some Flan.
Okay. What is the time frame of this?
Oof.
2,000 years ago?
Pre-cataclysm.
So that's over 1,000.
So it's probably 2000 because it's still got Solm on there.
So this is roughly 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That gets that
Yeah.
sense
Now
too.
a lot of people like here. See this. Is this bitterness here, or is that up here? Which one of these is
in the Adri Forest?
Yeah.
You have Laurelin thingy there down there.
Yeah. Which one?
Mhm.
Yeah. Because someone said that Selene is Lothlorien. I'm like, no. This is this was that was an Elven kingdom. It was more like Lothlorien, right?
That many of them there are
To it.
like Lothlorien in some ways.
Yes.
Both.
Well,
Yeah.
Sam actually agrees with me on something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. But I think that that definitely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Lightheaded.
Yeah. When Sam agrees with us, we are doing something right.
All right. So there. Yeah. So it's a great map.
Yeah, the city there in the Adri Forest is the city of Summer Stars.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So are elves, elves are widespread this time, or are all the demi-humans pocketed, but they have more swaths of land, like in this time frame? What's your thoughts?
This is based on the Orth Journal 1 histories.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So there are 4 Elven kingdoms.
Right. Is that where Sam
And
Cindy's Superstars is too?
Right. And there's several cities.
Mike, I think Mike just
Yeah,
went
he
off.
had to mute himself. Yeah.
I'm always gotta mute myself for background noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Sam did articles in 22 and 24.
Oh, okay. I was looking at 1, History of Earth. I'm assuming that's where it came from, right? This one, the Epoch of Myth. And it's just a time frame, and we don't want to go through all that. All right, we'll get to that if Demi-Humans are able to mosey about. There's still not that many of them to be everywhere. Okay.
So I have translations for everything on that map.
Yep. Thanks, McBoy. Plus, a lot of the forests are still there that are here. You know? Which is cool. I mean, most of the forests are still in existence as they were.
They're larger.
Yeah, or a little smaller. Yeah, they're larger here. So, like, for example, you really don't see any Valley of the High Folk on this here. That's one thing I noticed.
Well, actually, Taranal means High Vale.
Oh, it means high. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
part of it right there then.
And
Okay.
yeah, so
What's
my take on it is that high folk is a more modern construction, so to speak. That before then there was I have it that it was an elven realm that reached all the way from Selene all the way up to Vesfi back in the day, and then the that was kind of and then came the age of Vecna and stuff that kind of torn them, started to tear them apart, and then come the migration. But the idea of that realm kind of lived on, so to speak, and thanks to the contact with the Flan and stuff, that's why we have Veluna and High Folk, and they were kind of the bridge realms between the two. That was kind of a compromise between the humans and later the Origians and stuff, because since they were all helping out to get rid of Vecna and stuff like 1,000, 1,200 years ago or something like that. So that kind of set the idea, and you have the Rao priests and stuff. So that set a new culture. So that's why you have still elves living in Viluna, and they're still good terms the whole way, so to speak, because they had a bond that was built over a millennia ago, and that kind of built it. And even the Origians that came from the east and conquered Perrenland, they didn't conquer the in between. The High Folk was still just a stomping ground in between, so to speak. So that was a unique thing that was formed, and bonds that were formed like a millennia ago. That's my interpretation of the backstory behind Veluna, High Folk, and the story, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense that the Grey Kingdom could occupy another country but not occupy its way through to that country. That doesn't really make sense. So I try to make lemonades out of the lemons, so to speak.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, so that's my
The Great
interpretation
Kingdom went
of
up
the
to
facts on the
Perrinland?
ground. Yes, they did.
All right, okay. All
They
right.
were all the way up. The Origians were all the way up there, so to speak. And maybe it was just to compete with and to fight um, the horrors of oh
Yeah, true goblin.
Mike, save me.
What wolf
Someone in
I
chat,
don't
nomads?
save me.
know.
Wolf nomads? Wolf and tiger
No,
nomads?
the witch that took over.
Inkwell.
Igwil,
Igwell wasn't
exactly.
around
When
that long
Igwil,
ago.
no, exactly. That's what I meant. The Origians and the Great Kingdom came later when Igwil was around.
Igwell wasn't around 1,000 years ago, though.
No, what I'm saying is that this is happened 500, 600, 700 years after that
Oh,
original stuff. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That High Folk is not 1,000 years old. High Folk is maybe 300 years old or something like that.
That's a
As a
short
is it?
time for elves,
No,
right?
no, but High
Oh,
Folk, that the
itself.
town
Okay.
of High Folk has probably been around for 10,000, been around for a long, long,
Okay.
long time. But I meant that the modern day boundaries and that negotiation and all of that, so to speak, that is more of a modern thing.
Okay.
That's what it evolved into. And then the heartlands that are described in the Marklands is the leftover that was the elven realm that was not affected by human intrusion and all of that stuff, so to speak.
All right, because there's
But that's my
okay,
take
because
on
there's
it.
as
Yeah.
many humans as there are elves in the valley.
Yeah, exactly. Because the humans came in and went through and so on, but the elves were still there. So that's why they kind of
Okay.
they siphoned that off and changed it became its own entity, so to speak, because of that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my take on it.
I'm starting on the eastern side of the map.
Yep.
All right.
And here we have kind of a similar kind of way with the Sundi elves and the Adri elves and the other elves in the big forest, because here we have some really, really big forests that have been chopped down and disappeared over centuries as well.
Yeah, this is a Grey Elven kingdom, Sundi. That and Selene are the two Grey Elven kingdoms, and it's got the Rearwood here. And it's really because it's surrounded by mountains or a swamp. I mean, it's completely, it's about one of the most isolated areas you can get to. It's perfect for elves. You know, really is. I'm assuming Sundi has and Selenian elves have a lot of cousins or have a lot of relations. Was the Greek kingdom ever actually a functional non-evil? Yes.
Oh yes, it was. The
Yes.
first several hundred years, it
Yes.
was it
Colin.
was
Yes, it
uh, it
was.
was a more of a force of good than evil, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
during the Crandon years. Yeah.
Yeah. The Knights Protectorate were
Originally, and then it descended, and the
yeah.
Naelexes took over, and that was
Yep.
that it descended into evildoom and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. So you got Grey Elves here, and then you got of course you got Iron Gate and the Iron Hills, which is a Dwarven kingdom that gets forgotten a lot, even though I don't. And I think
Yeah,
it should
they
be
are
used a lot more.
mentioned. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are mentioned in the box set, but they never got their own entry. But they are mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, no formal name for
Exactly.
the
Yep. They're
country.
just mentioned that they're there. Yep.
Yeah. The Elves
The
is
Living Greg Gazetteer kind of
Yep.
cleans that up a little.
Yeah. That is the very first, my own first heraldry that I did, and I'm not
oh
really
here.
proud of it.
Oh, that's
Yes,
okay.
I'm not super proud of it. I did that over 20 years ago. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
probably about in the late 1990s or something. Yeah.
Sometimes old stuff's iconic. And then
Yeah.
I know ID. ID has a lot of halflings.
Yeah,
In
I
ID.
think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that is also
Yeah,
that
well,
is something that comes from the Living Greyhawk stuff too, because that's where we got a lot of details about Neri or that became ID. Yeah.
ID became Neri. So right.
Oh,
ID.
sorry. Yeah, that might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Yeah, you have the 76 version there, do you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
ID.
okay.
Yeah.
Hang on
ID
a
is.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah, ID became Neri. Yep.
The second Neri. Wasn't
Secondary?
the South Province called Neri too?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I thought there were two Neris, and it got all confused.
The South Province was Alyssa, became
Oh,
the
Alyssa. Okay.
Principality
All
of
right. I thought
Alyssa.
there were two
Yeah,
Neris somewhere, and it got all confused. All right.
that
Maybe
might
I'm
have
yeah,
wrong.
been, but
no,
yeah.
Yeah. So you got halflings and ID. It's not run by halflings. We got halflings and ID. Lots of dwarves. Iron Gate, which is an amazing city, which really should be more adventuring in this area.
hmm
No, I'm not going to do it. Someone else can. I got enough going on. And Sunday, Grey Elves, very isolated when you look at it. Extremely
Well, it's
isolated.
geographically isolated. It's
Yep.
a bowl. It doesn't have any outlet. It's surrounded by mountains on all sides. So it's like Death Valley. So in that sense, it's surrounded by mountains on every side. So the that's why the vast swamp is simply where the water accumulates before
Yeah.
it kind of evaporates away, or maybe it has a connection to the ocean, so it maintains ocean level. That's another thing. Yeah.
Sam's correct in chat. There are more Sunday dwarves, Sunday elves, and Iron Hill dwarves than there are humans in the area. Yep. Oh, I agree.
hmm Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Sunday seems to be primarily a demi-human realm, but
Yeah.
there are lots of humans too. But yeah.
Yep. Yep.
by extension, with the Iron Hills and the mountain, Glorial Mountains, and all the other hills surrounding it. Yeah, there's more demi-humans.
But it seems to be it's a little bit like the tradition is that the hills and the mountains are for dwarves and the big forests are for elves, and the halflings we don't really know where they belong, but and the gnomes they
Hills.
maybe belong, yeah, they belong a little bit where the elves or the dwarfs are or something, but so they're a bit like biome specific or stereotypical. So when you have elves, then elves seems to want to live in forests and stuff. So it's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it's part of this stereotypical. But fantasy is built on stereotypes, which I think is a source of for good for the most part, because it makes the game easy to understand and wrap your head around and easier to share and enjoy together. So a bit of stereotypical stuff is good in fantasy, I think.
All right.
Makes it easy.
So
Yeah.
as you come to the Great Kingdom, you have the Adri and the Grandwood, right? And what happened in the Adri that made everything go kerplunk, Mike?
Well, first with all the Origians came in, so to speak. That the Flamney Valley became the place where they settled down, and there were lots of them. and because they had a good river valley that was fertile, lots of forest and resources, and they settled down and started to increase the population and chopping down trees. I guess that's how the decline started, so to speak. There were,
Cut right
yeah,
through it.
yeah, they literally took over the living space for elves. And then there were other compounding factors among elves that I think Mike knows more about than me, than the Danakurian and the cursed stuff. And yeah,
Yeah, things were going bad for the City of Summer Stars,
yeah,
so they forged themselves a little Stormbringer type weapon to
yeah,
beat back the enemies, but it cost them everything, I guess.
yeah. And like Gary said, that the Adri and the Grandwood were once a great combined forest, so to speak,
Yeah.
that was chopped down.
In theory, because I'm going to bring Mike's map back up and they're separate. This is before the migrations, right?
Oh, if I did that map again, it'd be
I
totally
understand
different.
that. I'm
Yeah,
just being I'm being
but
nitpicky.
if yeah, but now we
Yeah.
can be nitpicky, and we can. There is another theory we can come up with. Maybe the first humans that come in and realize that the
Hey,
Flan
John.
or the Flamini Valley is the perfect place to settle. It has great climate, fertile soil, whatever. It might be the Flan. That might have been where the Flan started to modern, because we have Elissa, that was one of the primary Flan realms at its time before the migration. So maybe they were the ones to start chopping down the
Yeah,
trees,
so
so to speak, even before the Origians. Maybe they had chopped down and separated the two,
Yeah, they were there
because
for a while.
yeah, and because it's the easiest way to start cutting down trees are along rivers, because there you can float the timber down river and you can collect it. So I guess if you want to take it the easy route, you chop down trees along the river first, and that meant that the river valley kind of separated the two. That is a theory to defend Mike's map here, so to speak. I'm
okay.
just trying to come up with yeah.
It's all good. I mean,
Yeah.
you said it's all theoretical, right?
Oh yeah,
That's
this
the
is
great thing about past
speculation
history. No
that
one's yeah,
you can
yeah,
use to defend whatever. You can
yeah.
come up with countering theories if you want to have another outcome in your world, so to speak. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear, Gary. They didn't fall to the Great Kingdom. It was well before that. That's what I wanted to thank you,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Taraski. God, thank you. That's that. Okay,
Yep.
long
Yeah.
time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Long
we
time
also
ago.
have to realize that there were a kingdom of Erdi, and there were several other kingdoms in the area, Uridian kingdoms, long before the Great Kingdom. So they
Yeah.
were there for hundreds of years, and that was a slowly evolved into the Great Kingdom.
So
And that is actually David Leonard wrote a wonderful article, put together the history of Great Kingdom. That is very, very, if you go to
that's all
his
right. Okay.
blog, and he has the history of Great Kingdom
Who?
in like 15 part. David Leonard,
Oh,
on
okay.
his blog, he has the history of Great Kingdom in like 15 parts. And the early story are fantastic. There's so much cool stuff there. And what he done was basically read between the lines, and he took a little sentence here and a little sentence there, and then kind of
Mhm.
grouped them together and built the story out of it.
So we know that the Flinty Hills are gnome occupied. So here's a gnome realm, right? You got
Yeah.
most Cron Hills have a lot of gnomes, and the Flinty Hills have a lot of gnomes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of other places with gnomes,
Yeah.
but yeah. So yeah. Are there dwarves in the Flinty Hills too?
Maybe that'd be
Uh,
more the Rakers.
Probably more the
yeah, I
Rakers,
think
right?
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, it's more
But yeah,
gnomes, or
but the problem, as soon as we go into the living Greyhawk, I think we should talk about the living Greyhawk, not in detail, but in principle.
okay.
Because what they did, since they chopped up Greyhawk into its constituents realms and then parceled them out across the US and the world in how they organized the campaign, that meant that each area had area in the world that played and in an area in Greyhawk, so to speak, like Texas got one, or California, I think, was divided between two, and so on and so forth. Meaning we've had multiple of the people here talking about that. But what happened was that then people who wanted to play elves and halflings and gnomes or whatever, they needed to come from that area. So that meant that Living Greyhawk needed to invent, there needed to be a place for elves and dwarfs and gnomes in every part of Greyhawk, simply because the campaign demanded it. So each part of the Living Greyhawk was each area of the Living Greyhawk was its own mini setting that needed to have its own villains, its own elves, its own whatever. And that kind of meant that everything, meaning even Shieldlands that were like an elven realm and a gnomish a place where the halflings and elves and stuff hung out and so on. And that was never mentioned before. So Living Greyhawk invented a lot of this stuff. And some of them made sense, and in other areas, I don't think it, my opinion, didn't make
Are you
sense at
sure? Are you
all.
sure that like I don't? I recall Zeef had no demi-humans except half-orcs.
Maybe there were probably a few campaign areas that might have refused.
Okay.
Oh, they had, but
Okay.
not as much as
Okay.
others. But yeah, but of course it was the tradition of each of them because they didn't have to. It was more like if they had players who say, "I want to play an elf," and since that was legal in the campaign, they had to kind of start catering for them. So
Oh,
that
okay.
was
Because
yeah.
I recall some of them said, no, you're not doing it. I just
Yeah, yeah, Seif might have been one of the exceptions, and
yeah,
they were also some of these were also played in other countries that they
that's
might
right.
not be that
I thought they
interested
had
in. So
half
yeah.
work. I thought they had half work, Sam. I thought they had a whole bunch of
Hmm.
half works.
Oh yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so it did others. Meaning,
Well, it's
yes.
I'm
So,
just saying that yeah, I
hmm,
just
yeah. But
but
there was a lot of stuff that was introduced this way because when I read through the adventures and the source books, you could
that
almost
doesn't have
every
any
realm
effect
had.
on this map, Anna.
Oh yes, it has. There are lots of several stuff that was invented in Living Greyhawk that made it onto the map here. So
This
yeah.
is 576.
Oh yeah, but I simply backdated the original map. I didn't meaning I don't just because something hasn't been published yet. If it's published, take Alhaster for instance. Alhaster is not mentioned anywhere in any source in that was originally 576. It's been invented by Hawk or by Paizo later on,
Okay.
30 years afterwards, but it was supposed to have been around in 576. That's why I put it there in the 576 map as well, because I map it from the setting perspective, not from the
Right.
published source perspective.
Okay. All right. I just
Yeah.
give me when
Hmm.
we come across one, I want you to give me an example of a location
I
that
think
doesn't
you're
have
looking
demi,
at them. Are you looking at them right now? Zoom in right there,
right?
and you have a couple of examples of this.
Of what?
Zoom in a little bit further. There you go. There you have some dwarven realms and some gnomish realms that
But
with
this is the
Hawaiian sound.
Rakers.
Yeah, with Hawaiian sounding names.
Okay, but all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the clan names are added, but there were always dwarves here.
Okay. Yeah, but the clan names and those dwarven
Oh
names
yeah,
come
yeah,
from Living
absolutely,
Greyhawk. Yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
But I'm not.
I'm
Yeah,
not
maybe
sure
I'm
there
losing my
were.
mind on this, but like I don't see an elven realm right under that R in the Rakers because they had to have elves there. You understand what I'm saying?
No, there's elves on the right over there somewhere on the
Okay,
in
all
the
right.
yeah in the little
No,
forest
I
whatever.
understand it.
Yeah.
I understand
No,
that they
yeah.
may have added clans and stuff like that, but I
Oh,
didn't
oh
think
yeah,
that
they but I'm because I don't think I've saw any dwarves being mentioned up in that area before Living Greyhawk, if I
in the
remember
Rakers.
correctly. No, I don't think so, from what I can remember. Yeah.
Okay, all right,
There might have been mentioned that there were dwarves there, but there's no names, no places, nothing like that.
okay, all right. Interesting.
And this is what I meant. Living Greyhawk, they
Don't start,
nailed
Josh.
down they detailed a whole bunch of stuff that was never detailed before because they needed it for their campaigns.
Josh, you're
Yeah.
gonna be so mad. So I'm gonna get the final revenge on all of these.
Oh, that's awesome,
I'm gonna get the
Josh.
final revenge on all of you at the
Mhm.
end.
Hmm.
Just wait. At the very
Yeah.
end of the third book, we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Zeech is gonna be standing there like Kevin Costner in Dances with Wolves, and Thrommel's gonna come up behind him and cut his fucking head off.
Mhm.
How's that? No more Zeech, and Thrommel rules the world. All right, you got it. That's what's gonna happen. So I don't have to deal with Zeech anymore, and you guys can. Thrommel's gonna run everything. I felt good. I feel like $100 now. All right, let's continue. I'm just kidding. Vampires gets no, it's a long running joke with the vampire throttle thing. On Andre, it's just it goes back 8 years, busting my balls about damn vampire throttle from Return to Temple of Elemental Evil. All right. So Rotic is a human realm, but Timberway, I don't know. It's all human.
Yeah. And also, by the way, those dwarven names are Hawaiian sounding because Hawaii had rakers.
Cool.
Yeah. Ratik and the were part of the Hawaii,
Harris,
Japan, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, and the South Islands of New Zealand.
What's that ancient city of gnomes dwarves hidden in the Rakers? Yeah, see, I knew there was one. There's an ancient dwarven city hidden in the Rakers. Bueller, anyone?
Yeah, the one that's connected to
Oh, you mean Tostenka? Oh, Skrellingsheld or Tostenka? That I think I need to replace because I put it way too high up in the mountains, I think. Yeah, Tostenka and
yeah.
But they're more up in the Griff Mountains.
That's a Flan area.
Yeah. Yeah, they were part of that old yeah, that's
I don't
Flan.
even know where it is on the map here.
It's further north. Yeah.
Oh,
but on that map, but I need to put it further south. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I placed that well, so I'm going to Yep.
Cool. All right. So yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Michael wants tortillas and dip. Yep. Plus think it. Yep.
All right. What about as we continue this way, as far as like you get your named kingdoms on the other side of the map mostly. Besides down here, besides Sunday and the Iron Hills, right? But we know what about the Fosswood, Mike? Lots of elves now, or
an organized realm? I'm not sure of. Clans, likely. I think every forest on the map has clans and tribes.
Yeah,
but an organized
named,
kingdom, not sure.
The Gnome Lord of the Blemo. There's a Gnome Lord in the Blemo there, Sam says.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Gnome Lord of the Blemo.
Gabonge and the Celadon. Yeah, absolutely. Gamboge and the Celadon. Absolutely. Yep. Here and here. Elven.
Yeah, like I said, every forest on the map has a sizable population.
Except the Tangles. I don't think the Tangles has any elves, right? Because it's really not.
That's a smaller.
It's really not
very small.
It's a really prickly brush forest, isn't it, for the most part? Yeah. He had the hand of Vecna, Gnome Lord of the Blemo. Are you? Yes, Flinty Hills. That's what we said. The Flinty Hills. There's a Gnome Lord. Absolutely. Yep.
The eastern Flinty Hills are more isolationist than the west.
Okay. Cool. Said once again, not my side of the map. I got to stand. By the way, I'm having back trouble. Everyone, I got to stand a little bit. Bring my camera down. Sorry. Yeah. Pain don't hurt, as Patrick Swayze says. But it does. All right. Griff Mountains. Dwarven?
Griffs.
Too far north.
No, I don't think. Well, we have in the Bluff Hills there are some stuff, but not so much Dwarven. They're a little bit. We have the Shadow Cavern, the Dragon's March, and Perdition. There's a couple of names, and Black Rock Tower. But no, I don't think we have any Dwarven stuff. We have Orcish in Garalenkdal.
Right. Yeah, so Garel Inkdal is probably an old dwarf realm. There's
that might be
that they took over.
Yeah.
But that would be speculation. I can't remember from the module itself.
Is that from 5 Shall Be 1 or?
Yeah.
or the other one.
Probably, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yes,
You
it
guys are
is definitely
module.
That's what I
from that
thought.
module.
That's what I thought. So it's actually southern Stonefist area there.
So it was probably a mountain dwarf realm that is now, since they've split up and gone everywhere, you know. So again, every major mountain range on the encounter charts probably has dwarves. Organized kingdoms, few and far between.
Okay.
Even in the GREYHAWK area, the dwarven communities are rather small, tiny.
Yeah, even like, well, as we get down to my area, it's besides the principality, we can talk about that. But Felreave, very Sylvan Elf, correct? Lots of Sylvan Elves in the Felreave as
I don't
well.
know, not much
No,
elves there at all. Nope.
I thought it was GREYHAWK and no, okay,
Maybe, but I don't think we have much stories of elves in that area at all. And that one is covered in I Use the Evil and a little bit in the Marklands, and there aren't much elves mentioned
okay.
in them at all in that area. So that is one of these.
Hmm.
We have the ancient elven settlement that was then taken over by Dalvier. That was an ancient elven settlement, and
It's
yeah,
over here.
but that was like ancient
Right.
elven, not like current elven. So yeah, and that was more like a rumor, not a fact, so to speak.
Okay.
It's yeah. So and also now we are firmly in the Sergeant era, because during the early
Okay.
Gygax era, Felry was not developed at all. That came later with the Marklands and I Use the Evil and stuff. So yeah.
Developed, no, but there are Sylvan Elves in the Felreave on
Yeah,
on
and
the base
also
Well,
file.
I'm sure. Yeah,
as Sam
I'm not
said,
saying it's not, but
centaurs.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we don't have much developed, so to speak. We don't have
No,
much
no
stories or names or
kingdoms.
exactly. We have
At
no.
one time there was, but no
Yeah,
longer.
yeah,
Right. Okay. And
which is kind of typical GREYHAWK in a lot of sense.
Yeah.
now, if we get around GREYHAWK City, you're going to get stuff everywhere, right? So,
It has the longest publication history, meaning we have
right around here.
material over 50 years
Well,
describing the city
s-
and its surroundings.
so
Yeah,
you have Grossick Rottle, that's Gnomish, and
yeah,
that's in the Free box set. And you have Elmshire, the most conquered city in all of GREYHAWK, which is halfling. It's Palermo. It's the Palermo of GREYHAWK.
yeah. But Elmshire is also one of these Sargent inventions, isn't it? Or from that from the Ashes era?
Mhm.
Sec
Mhm.
I think it's from the Ashes era.
What's
It's
that?
not Elmshire. I think
No,
it's from the
I think
Ashes.
that's.
Is it earlier?
I think it's on the original map. I think
I
it's on the
can't
original
remember it.
Free box set. I'm almost
Okay, maybe
positive.
it's from there. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
you
You
know why?
definitely know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. A lot of the sites up here, and then but see when you swing this way, and then
But
it's
remember, from the Ashes and City of box set, they came out fairly close to each other in time. That
four
was it was
years,
this
3 4 years.
it was the Sergeant era stuff
Yeah,
started to come in. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. 4 years
City
apart.
of GREYHAWK. Yep. Thank you, Sam. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So this whole area, northern Cairn Hills, is very devoid of humanoids. Maybe some mining camps and stuff, but devoid
And also the
until
peninsula of GREYHAWK has nothing.
right, right, nothing. Because I don't. Well, yeah, it does. The peninsula up here. Well, it's
Yeah.
got at the very base. It's got Grossick Rottle,
Oh
but
yeah,
that's
but
it.
the whole peninsula is barely, meaning I had to almost half invent stuff because
Yeah,
and it's such a strategic location that is kind of
yeah.
devoid of
It's
yeah.
not developed.
I've always speculated why that be.
That's a good question.
That's why I made it so hilly, because I needed to make sure that it wasn't a suitable place to
But
live,
when you
so to
get
speak.
here, you got three dwarven kingdoms, all different,
Yep.
all close to each other. One is in the City Grok box set. I believe that's Graysmere, and
But
then Caracast and Dumadan are in
yeah,
from the Ashes.
yeah.
All different.
But Damadan seems to be the only one of significant size. The other ones are just mentioned like little mines where some dwarfs, but Dumadan,
I think they have like 800 minimum.
Okay, yeah. It's not much of a kingdom though,
For
800.
dwarves, it is,
Okay, yeah.
right? I mean, how many? It's better than having 12, like they did
Well,
in
well,
the
yeah, yeah. I
Hobbit.
mean,
Yeah,
you're right, Jay, because the demi-human realms are very
yeah,
underpopulated.
absolutely.
Even the humans are underpopulated in Greyhawk
Yeah,
and in the
yeah,
setting, and the demi-humans have suffered even worse from that. So you're right.
yeah.
We
But
might have some very low population
The
numbers here and there.
City Grout box set has one, and then the other two are in from the Ashes. So it's
Yeah,
added in, and one's got the Seer, which is really cool, the Blind Dwarf. So
yeah.
they're all distinctly unique, and they all actually probably don't like each other that much. They're very clannish.
Well,
Um,
I guess they're greedy.
yeah,
Gary described. I remember Gord when he tried he wanted a dagger. Then there's a dwarf that is selling a dagger that can cut through metal and stuff. That is very magical, and he starts to argue and about value of gold and stuff with a dwarf,
right.
and I remember Gary describing it like a greedy dwarfs, like they are super greedy and stuff. So if they have a good mind, I don't think they want to share. So yeah,
I don't. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of dwarves also now in the Aberrals, which are not mentioned specifically where, but they do. It does mention a lot of dwarves
yeah,
in the Aberrals as well. But there's just no actual locations
yeah.
for
But
them.
it's also one of these areas that would develop piecemeal over 30 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So meaning that, so they had it was a very different tradition of how you published or what you published and how you wrote about stuff in the early years
Yep.
compared to things 30 years later. So meaning the Sargent era when you wrote these big source books about areas of Greyhawk, we don't have them for the early parts. So
No, there's
yeah,
nothing in the Bright Desert. All right, let's head. All right, so now let's head. Now we'll talk. Let's talk this whole area up here, Vesvi. Go up. We'll go
yeah,
up and across. So teaming up here
yep,
with everything you can think of: gnomes, dwarves, gray elves, sylvan elves, high elves,
yeah,
Grugok.
yep.
Yeah. So
And that was one of I think Greyhawk the gems of Greyhawk publication, the Marklands,
oh,
a
it's
Card Sergeant
really
book
good,
that
detailed,
yeah,
really good.
really good. That kind of detail that before then we don't know much. We knew like what was it like 2 paragraphs or something like that in the early books about Vesvi. That was about it. And then we got like a whole chapter in page set pages of data.
Excuse me. Mm, okay. Um, we do a fair amount of venturing here. Isn't there up here a hidden, unhidden elven realm somewhere? Where is it? Oh, here, Kashan, right? uh,
Yeah, and now we're into Living Greyhawk territory.
yep, which is true
Yeah,
living Greyhawk.
yeah, and the thing is, and they had Kashana belonging to Perrinland, probably because Perrinland needed an elven realm, so they invented it. And in
Hmm,
my campaign, I took it the other way
which
around, and
is
yeah,
ridiculous because it borders the Visitor Forest.
yeah,
But
it's nowhere near.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but
So
that
But that
was more the
midway in
constraints of
between.
the campaign
There you
yes,
go.
organization
yep, I,
than their
I
storytelling.
yep, I totally agree.
I'm currently running a Perlin campaign for
Yeah.
like going on year 2, and I do not use crochet.
Okay.
I use it in another way is that we I forgot now someone wrote the old story of the elves and that they had mountains cities up in the hills and mountains long time ago, and I have
Hmm.
it that Kershani was one of those original old the surviving ones, so to speak. The other ones are gone, so it's like the or like Elrond and that kind of been around for a long time. So I have it that they've been up there. So it's the Rivendell of Greyhawk in that sense.
And
It's
there could be some up there, but
yeah,
ultimately I would just lump it in with Highville.
yeah.
Hmm.
But it's interesting because the Living Greyhawk campaign, they double use Kershane because they use it for the pass of Kershane. So the pass that
Right.
Velverdiva flows through is the pass of Kershane between the Yatil on one side and the Klatspurs on the other. So that is the Kershane. So and you have Kershane Monastery there and stuff. And then they had, but that might have been I always try to make lemonade out of lemons. So I simply say, well, they heard that elven name up in the mountains of that elven city and was cool, so they used it. So that I have it that it was one of these human inventions or what they thought was cool, so they reused it.
Wow, 99 straight views. That's maybe that's the max. You can only max it out at 99. Who knows? Wow.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about this is think of something you want to do, and the whole area is accessible. High Folk is like the more civilized area, but you have cities deep in the Vestry, like Flameflower, right?
Oh yeah.
Really deep into the Vestry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, as you can see, we even have an Order of Yuluk keep way up here in the Beastman's Forest, way up here. Well, yeah. And here, this is called the Gnome Hills. So I guess these are gnomish communities up here. Bruckican, that must be.
Or Brook.
Yeah, Lunadora. That sounds elvish. I don't know anything. I don't know about Lunadora. Anyone know about Lunadora?
It's a gnome enclave, like
Is
a
it?
Yeah.
mining town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's from the Marklands. I think
Okay.
most of the things are from Marklands
Right.
on that side of it, but on the Paraland side, it's Living
Oh
Greyhawk.
man, that's cool.
Yeah, so you have the Canton of Westbergen and Perican Keep and Stolmore and Krutschaf and
Lots of
Brooks
so
Airy and stuff. Those are Living Greyhawk stuff.
the area was developed very well.
Well, yeah, they were Paraland Triad were very active.
Oh yeah,
They had both
tell.
maps and did lots of stuff. So yeah.
You can tell a lot of stuff on that. As you come down, well, so if you want the ultimate and ancient Grey Elven realms, it's the lands around the Timeless Tree. They're like seers. Yeah, so they worship. Oh my gosh, the elven god of longevity, Laberlus Enerlith, right? Did I say that right?
Labelas Enoreth or
Yeah,
however you
yeah.
pronounce it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Even though once
That kind of makes sense.
I
Yeah.
yeah, I the
Swiss
old,
lowlands.
the
Yep.
oldest
Mm-hmm.
published source one, Kelendrian, is only 660 years old. I think she should be a little bit older than that, but that's all right. All good. That's where we've had a discussion many times. So, and once again, there's a lot more, probably smaller communities because you got trails running all through into the Valley of the High Folk. I imagine that the map for High Folk is much more done than this. Right, Jeremy? I imagine a lot more locations pointed out on it. Sorry, I'm chewing on these icebreakers, trying to not cough. Yeah.
So I was running my game in this area just yesterday.
Mhm. In
My
Highfolk?
parent, uh, the
Paramount.
High Vale,
Oh, the High
mostly
Vale up
around
here. Up here.
around Flame Flower.
Here's the monastery. Kishane Monastery is not in Kishane. The monastery is here.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Now we were running Throne of Ayus set near the Defiled Glades.
And what's happening?
In southern Vesey.
Aha. You know, it's one of my favorite places of all time. So, the Foul Glades. and actually it doesn't exist in 576. So I
No,
actually
I took it
superimposed it
from
on
the
yeah,
598 map. Yep.
yeah, on
So
the
you have a
line.
special
Yeah, I
map
have it.
with defiled glades
Yeah.
in the 576. Yep.
Oh, and we've tried to locate all of them. We just can't get them all,
Yep.
So,
But the
yep.
Marklands is a great resource for to dig into. Just like the I use the evil and the triad, the Ivid the Undying, the triad of Carl Sargent's three big source books,
Mhm.
setting books. In my
But
opinion, they're some of the best Greyhawk stuff. Not everything is good, but at least it's a lot of useful stuff. And Carl Sargent were really good at weaving in little nuggets that could be turned into adventures and all sorts of stuff.
well, and the great thing about that is that he was the best at those adventure hooks all throughout the
Yeah,
books.
yeah.
I've used
And
so
then
many of them.
yeah, but he turned elves into Tolkien-esque
Well,
elves
yeah,
too
I just
much
don't
and
use
stuff.
it.
But
The
yeah,
moon
exactly. I
bow,
don't agree with
the
that
moon
part either.
bow, and all.
Yeah.
It drives me insane. It
But
drives me
it's
nuts.
parts of it I like, but not all of it
I
that they
hate what they
went.
did it because they did it to Lens Realm.
Yeah, exactly.
So
They yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't like everything Carl Sargent did,
No, no,
but
but we
I
all don't like everything that everyone. You know what I mean?
exactly.
That's
But he
okay
did
though.
a lot of cool stuff
Yeah,
for Greyhawk. So yep.
absolutely. But yeah, I felt bad for Len. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, those poor islands were
yeah, yeah. I hate
mistreated
going there with a
from the
passion.
Darlene from the days of the Darlene map to to the Carl Sargent and stuff. So the poor Lendor Isles were kind of overlooked or abused in various ways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so true. So Jeremy's looking. Ashlar's looking for a High Folk regional map.
there isn't much to go by, uh,
Well, he may
unfortunately.
have something. Maybe we should have High Folk back on.
We should definitely
Uh,
yeah, it's one of these regions. Yeah, after I've done with Shieldlands in a couple of years from now, I want to run an Elven campaign and I want to dig deep into Elvendom. So I have a lot of ideas around it. So I just jot down ideas of what I want to do with stuff. So from Elven history, and it's just loose ideas so far. So I will start working on them in a couple of years, but I hopefully have time to now I have time to think about it, but barely more than that. So yeah.
all right, let's come up here
Hmm.
because here's some stuff that people don't even know about. A lot
Yeah,
of.
the Kund clan,
Yep.
another living Greyhawk invention, where I think could fit, kind of, yeah.
And
And
Exag. Exag's been around forever, right?
exactly, Exag has been around since
And
the
that's a
early
human.
days.
That's a human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they invented the living Greyhawk invented the Kund clan up in the mountains
Okay.
that functions as a sort of go-between between the Bakulinish West because they have a tunnel and through the Yattles. So they function as a which can kind of make sense because that makes Exag more of an interesting place because they have connections via the dwarfs to the west. So yeah, so that makes it more viable in some
I didn't
sense.
know that.
But that was part of it. And they also invented another one further south in the Yachtils, the Blackhammer clan was another one of the living Greyhawk inventions.
All right.
And the Krestingstreck, that is one of the really cool names I'm not sure if that is living Greyhawk or if it came earlier.
all right.
But
So.
I really and the Worm's Tail
All right.
Pass and the Krestingstreck. I think these are cool stuff.
Give
Yeah.
me a sec.
Ancient Flans settlement.
I'm gonna risk
Yes.
crashing the stream to download some
Yeah.
stuff Jeremy sent me.
Yeah. It was detailed in Dragon magazine or Dungeon. I forgot which. That had it from as an old Flan, and that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. I like that treatment a lot.
All right. Give me a sec
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, Exag has nothing to do with Demi-Humans.
It
That's
does
for
have
sure.
a fair amount of demi-humans in it.
No, it has nothing to do
None.
with
Okay.
Demi-Humans.
I know that's a city I know nothing at all about.
We talked about it at a
But
previous show, like a couple of years
But
ago.
no one's ever detailed a thing in it, have they?
Oh yes, there is an article during from the Pisahawk era, if I
There's
remember
whole
correctly.
maps of it.
Yeah,
Is
that
there?
had oh yes, there is a dragon or dungeon, I forgot which. I think was from the Pisahawk era where they detailed it.
Huh.
There's
And they
also
did a really good job
Oh,
with
and
it.
there's a whole like trilogy of adventures set there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
give me a
I
second.
ran them for my campaign.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Rather, I
recently
adapted
or
them.
recently
So,
or
Yeah, like within the last few months,
oh, cool. Yep.
oh, that's the
I
clan. All right, so there's the High Elven
adapted
clan
everything.
registration form from Jeremy. All right, we
Yep.
have that. Let's see what this is. All right, here's the welcome to High Folk. All right, so we have a couple things from Living Greyhawk here. All right, and then here's the map. Let's take a look down the southern part here. There's stuff on here I don't think that's in on your map, Anna.
Okay.
Stout
What,
Stump. I don't know. I've never seen Crystal Springs, Trellinville, Weeping Willow, Tree Brook. Yeah, there are some things on here, which
yeah,
is cool.
I think I've seen that map, but I'm not sure where it comes from.
Jeremy just gave it to me from
Yeah.
Living
Yeah,
Greyhawk.
because that oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because sometimes I got maps and I couldn't find any other source, so
yeah,
then I
yeah.
ignore some of it.
There's
Yep.
a lot of yeah. Okay, there you go.
But that's awesome, Jeremy. I would love that map too.
I'll
But
give it to
maybe
you.
I was, yeah, I
I'll
think
give it to you.
I got the map, but I never got the other source. So if you have the companion material, I think that will be awesome.
So there you go.
Yep. So I need to dig into it. And
So
my
Lunador's on this map,
yep. Mm-hmm.
but not the other ones north. One of the Gnome Hills are here, but none of the other locations are up
Yeah,
there.
some of them I might be from
So,
Pearland too, because I just took whatever I could find and put
all
there.
right.
So yeah,
I'll make sure you get that. Thanks, Grim.
awesome.
Yeah. All right.
The Sepia Uplands are actually a fun place. I ran a lot of stuff on there because it's near City of Traft in
Yeah,
Pearland,
Yeah.
where I
And that was
ran
on
my
that map too.
campaign.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I think City of Traft, I think, comes from the Quag novel that was written
Yeah.
by
Right.
the
It's all
French
good.
guy,
It's all good, Jeremy. I really
or
appreciate that.
that came out really early. That was had like the yeah Gary's blessings and stuff. They came out really early. I think that was
Andrew
set in
Norton.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Andrew Norton. I think Traft is from there.
It's cool.
Maybe even Dagovach. Yeah, because those are yeah.
I think Dagovach is
Yeah.
Living Greyhawk.
That is probably Living Greyhawk. Yeah.
Although I
Yep.
ran real hard with Dagovach, I developed
Uh-huh.
it for my own
Okay.
campaign.
Yeah.
It's not a nice place.
No, it's a ruin for a reason. Yep.
Yep, there it is. All right, so I like the weird thing about like if we go back up to the Coon clan real quick, like it goes they have a tunnel that runs all the way through to this outpost out
Mm-hmm.
here, which
Yep.
connects over to
Yeah,
the
they have
lands
like
of
a
Ektir.
60 or 50, 60 might, but there might be
Yeah,
some natural
yeah,
tunnels that they expanded on. And meaning the Lera clan, they made the
similar,
Slerutin made a 300 mile. He took
right?
under the crystal mist. So if he can dig that far, then then we have yeah, and then we have the infamous one under near Duv, but I should not mention that anymore because I've made fun of that too many times.
I'm skipping my area. I'm going all the way around it. We'll do that last.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know what's in the Bramblewood. I don't know if there's any.
Bramblewood doesn't have, from what I remember, doesn't have much
There's
demi-humans.
that much Elvish in there. No. Okay.
No, it's not much.
Let's go over to all where Mike did, and we know a lot of half ogres. Half ogres,
Yeah,
half orcs,
but
right,
they're
Mike?
not demi-humans.
Half
That
ogres are demi-humans.
are they
Oh my
demi-humans?
God.
Aren't they half
I
humanoids?
would count them as giants.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah.
so my definition of a demi-human is it's a playable race in my game. It's something
Ah,
human.
okay.
And half ogres and half orcs are demi-humans. Is a half orc
Okay.
a
Yeah.
monster or a demi-human?
I think originally were demi-humans
Uh-huh.
the gnomes, elves, halflings, and dwarfs. I think
Half
they were
elves
the
are
and
demi-humans,
half elves. Yeah, I think those were the
and so are half
demi-humans,
orcs.
which is kind of interesting because demi is like less of.
Yeah,
So
well,
so so it's kind of an interesting choice of
that's probably why they just
Yeah.
They nixed it in 5th. All right, so what else you got, Mike, in all?
Oh, I mean, there's halflings there, but
Are
I
they
wouldn't say there's,
Oh, we have halflings in all?
yeah, yeah.
are they
Okay.
cannibal halflings?
No,
Damn.
no, the halflings came along with caravans that passed through,
Okay.
like they
Yeah.
do everywhere else in the
Yeah.
world,
Mm-hmm.
and they stay around.
Yeah.
Wherever there's opportunity and money.
But the halflings fit in better actually than say elves and dwarves.
I'd say so. Probably smart.
Uh, no, like all in 591 is ruled by a half ogre, but I wouldn't say it's a half ogre kingdom.
Right.
Anything demi-human in all is like just scraping by to survive.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then Zeef
coffee
definitely.
shops.
Zeef has a huge population of half orcs. Orcs
They
and
do
half
have
orcs, which
orcs.
are a lot of troops are of that. All right. Geoff.
Yeah,
Ton,
this is an interesting,
tons of
very
elves. Yeah.
demi-human,
Uh,
dense area, so
Flan
to
and
speak.
Demi-Human.
Yeah, we have a lot of elves and gnomes in the area. We have dim forest, and we have so the dim forest is full of elves, and this is something that is start to be mentioned in From the Ashes, I think, and then being detailed in Living Greyhawk. And also in that 25-year what adventure called? Oh, the giants. That was the 25-year
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
return to the whatever
yeah.
the
Revenge.
giant
Yeah.
stuff and Geoff and stuff detailed. So there's a lot of details from there too. So that kind of grew into more and more of an elven realm and stuff there. So the dim forest, and then we have the valley elves too.
And a
In
lot of gnomes in the Valley Elves
Yeah,
too.
mm-hmm,
Gnomes and
yep,
Valley Elves.
yep,
Yeah, Valley of the Mage should count as a demi-human realm
yeah.
because
But it's also one, in my opinion, a terrible module, but
yeah,
or source book. I had so high ambitions when I read that. I was like, oh, this is going to be so cool. And I read it, was like, no, this is like,
Yeah.
oh, this is so
Why? There's a
boring.
bunch of necromancers running around, and you got to find them. That's the
Yeah,
adventure.
but I wanted a
Yeah.
cool realm. I didn't want cute little gnomes and yeah. And then
What'd you want instead of a cute little gnomes?
I wanted cool stuff. I wanted elves,
They're
old
Galanter
stuff.
there. They're
I
cool.
wanted like I wanted Lothlorien of and full of old
Uh,
elven cursed things and whatever from back in the day and
uh,
stuff. So yeah. And
like,
then Gary came and invented Bardillingham and Catlord and stuff in there too. So it's crowded place with
yeah,
stuff.
the map looks like a little. It looks like
Yeah,
frickin'
yeah.
Verbobomb on your
Yeah,
map.
yeah,
It's like too
yeah.
much.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not my campaign
Yeah.
version. Yeah, I
All right.
haven't got to it, but I'm starting to have ideas what I want to do with it. Yeah,
Sterich is mostly human, correct? But you have here. This is
Drow invasion in Steric from the vault of the yeah
well, that
from
just
the
that
yeah
depends on what adventure you're doing,
yeah.
right?
But you have the cyst and all that stuff going on with Istivin.
Uh, if you yeah,
Yeah,
but if you
depending
read the
on
Vault of the Drow 30 years before that, then you're kind of stuck, right? So that's the
yeah
problem. Yeah. But yeah, the Underdark is right here, right? As you can see, you can just see
yeah
it on the map by runs all the way through this area right here, and it's just melded into great look on the map. So if you want another demi-human realm, you got the Dark Elves and the Underdark there. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff that were just throw-ins there, Daniel. It was just a throw-in. The Cat Lord. Oh, it's a good place for him. Um, yeah, but the Good Hills is very gnomish, right? Gnomes of the Good
I think
Hills
halfling.
and
Um,
halflings, both.
but yeah, the Good Hills. It's definitely a big enough area that would constitute a realm if Keelan would let him.
Right, but that's not what Keelan does. Keelan likes its kingdoms. In fact, isn't Sturridge still a vassal of Keelan? Technically, so
Uh,
is Bissell. Grand March, I'm sorry, so is Grand March. I think Bissell's.
Halflings,
no,
gnomes,
I think that was
considerable.
at 576. Yes, I think, but later on, no.
Okay. Yep.
Meaning Keelan ruled a lot of during his imperial, and then it shrunk more and more, so to speak, when the imperial phase was over.
I could be misremembering here, but when the giants come down and start raiding Sterish and Jeff, I think the Good Hills population even went up more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot of them moved over there. Yeah. And then you have
Flynn.
Gossil Grottofitz or whatever, however you pronounce that. Yeah.
Right here, yeah.
Yeah.
Gossel Grottos Schmitz.
Yeah.
John Jacob Jinglemeyer Schmitz.
Yeah. And
Ishunheim.
Pilms Delve and yeah.
Lots of cool areas.
Pinda Googly. Yeah. That it's only living Greyhawk that can come up with names like that.
I'm
I don't
surprised
think
there's.
that happens any
Well,
other.
I don't
Yeah.
know where the Applebee's was that you got rid of, but I'm surprised there's not a Burger King. There's not
It's
a
now
Burger King
history.
there. Yeah, yeah.
But Appleby is actually a name that I could imagine could actually be in the fantasy world. So, in my opinion, it's better than Pinda Googly. Yeah.
Rails in the dim forest and
High elves and the Oitwood.
interesting. I
Uh,
think the dim is, according to the book, is Sylvan, isn't it?
hmm,
And I think Oitwood is high, but it doesn't
yeah.
matter. Yeah.
I always assumed the Dimwood was where the Valley Elves came from because you got to go through the dim forest to get to
Well, you gotta
Yeah.
remember
the
It's the entry
valley.
in there. So, yeah.
because they weren't allowed to use Dark Elves in their campaign here, which made no sense during Living Greyhawk. That's when the
Hmm.
Feywild got all developed. It's right here, right?
Well, I'm
That's where.
sure it was explained more in Liberation of Jeff too. Gray and
Which we went over we went over a lot of that adventure.
yeah.
Those 25th anniversary ones, which was cool. So, and then you got the Hornwood back here. It's got more elves in that area too.
But with that whole area being
What's up, Curtis?
Feywild, anyways, Gray Grails makes a lot
Uh-huh.
of sense.
Yeah. Jeff was very isolated, but in a bad way. It was hard to get outside help, especially with the Rushmores here. Right. It's like, that was just, and I don't believe it was ever under Keelan's thumb.
Hey, Curtis.
Yes, Curtis. Oh, watch us get beat to hell by Tiffany on Saturday night last weekend. All right, as we continue on down the road here, we've got the Dreadwood. Definitely
Yeah.
Sylvan.
There we have some stuff that was introduced, kind of Living Greyhawk, but it was not part of the campaign. Wasn't that what Gary Julian wrote for the Living Greyhawk Journal? He wrote an article about, and that was included some stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with Gray and Wood going together, but that's okay because Wood elves are clannish. I'll show you in a second my Celine. I have that Grey elves are very estate based, very like French, as far as it goes to elves. But that's okay.
The
Just a
the
little
guide
difference of
has
opinion.
Dreadwood.
What's that?
The guide. The guide
Okay.
Wood and
has
high is just
Dreadwood
for Sam,
as
yeah.
So
wood,
that were good.
wood
Yeah.
and
Sylvan and
halflings and
high.
gnomes.
And gnomes too, yeah. Yeah. But not kingdoms, just once again realms. Not the kingdoms here. All right.
The remnants of
Shit.
realms.
Notice I went all around my area. Any other spots I missed before we go delve into this, where I have at least some freaking knowledge?
I
Aha! But of
mean,
course, see, gotcha.
I
Gray
serve the gray
Poupon.
poupon.
Yeah, exactly. But of course,
I mean, if you want to avoid your setting, Jay, I have a couple other
go for it. Let's do it. We got some
realms.
time.
Yeah. Okay, so the Spindrift Isles, which I know
Yep.
you
Yep. We missed
avoided.
them. Yep.
Hmm.
No, that's not it though.
Avoided it by
Oh
purpose.
That's not it though. So yeah, the
no.
elves end up in 576 the elves had the north, the humans had the south.
Uh
Hmm.
huh.
And then during the wars, the elves took the whole thing. Well,
Yeah.
anyhow, you were talking about how Sargent Tolkienized the elves. Part of that is that what's going on in the Spindrifts was also part of what's going on in the chainmail setting in
Hmm.
Oh.
Western Orc.
Okay. Wow.
Um, now, I'm not an expert on the Sundered Empire or whatever,
Right.
Hmm.
from beyond the Flanaess. Um, but there's an elven kingdom called Revilla over there that was settled like a couple thousand years ago. And it says from elves across the Solnor. So obviously they debarked from
Hmm.
likely the Spindrifts, right? And are probably still
Oh.
coming from the Spindrifts this day, just no
Ah.
one knows it.
Yeah.
Now,
Hmm.
like I said, the whole chainmail setting was a war game uh, situation. So you got anyhow, Revilla was gray elves, and I was looking this up today. Interestingly, their type of government was oligarchy. So these gray elves, you got your rich gray elves
Yeah.
ruling over everyone else.
Hold on to that question, Curtis. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Hmm.
And the other thing that was interesting with Revilla is over there,
Yeah.
the elven
Meaning in the
culture
Sundered Empire far
in the
west.
Sundered Empire, yeah,
Yeah.
of the chainmail setting, the elven lands culture is also intertwined with dragons. So they say
Yeah.
that there's a lot of
Hmm.
half
That's
dragons
that
and
I took in my
dragonfolk.
campaign. Exactly. I
Yeah.
took that and ran with it. Yep.
And that's
Hmm.
not 5e, that's 3-5.
Yep.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, and so also then in that general area, I'll get this out of the way, is Morden Guard. Morden Guard. And
Hmm.
that's a Dwarven realm. I don't know the backstory on this
Hmm.
realm. Suffice to say, it's a place that threw off the yoke of a tyrannical king, and now they have a communist government.
Oh, geez.
So take that what you will.
Huh.
Yeah. So you got a Dwarven realm and an Elven realm over there in the western side of
Hmm.
the continent of the world.
Cool.
BB,
Yep.
all right. Let me do this for you, BBC, that
Snow elves.
you feel
Yep.
satisfied.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis had a good question regarding elves and elevation and stuff, since they love to live in forest. How high do forests go, so to speak? We have,
Like off the tree line,
meaning
or
there is a tree line, and I used to, part of my life, I lived at the tree line, because the tree line is not only, a tree line is simply where it gets too cold and sometimes too dry, and sometimes a combination of both for trees to grow. So that means that when there is not enough, the living circumstances are so dire due to it's being so cold or so dry, or a combination of them, and that happens at different elevations depending on. But if you go really far north or really far out in the desert, then it happens. Yeah, it can be too dry in a desert, so to speak. But when you go up in the mountainside, then eventually you get so high that trees can't grow, and they reduce in size. So you can have fir trees and birch trees and stuff that are fully, meaning they can be 100 feet tall
Oh,
down in the valley, and then as you go up the mountains, they can be, they're tiny and they're old, some of them, and you can find that they may be a few inches high, when you get up to a few thousand feet up. But where though, how high that is, that depends on where on the globe you are, so to speak. If you're near the polar circle, then the tundra, that means that the tree line have reached sea level because it's so dire that trees don't even grow at sea level because it's so cold and dry and miserable that trees don't grow. But if you're down here in the subtropics, like California, here the trees grow to 8, 9,000 feet or something like that. It's only when you get maybe higher than 8, 9,000 feet, that's when the effective tree line, because the tallest mountains here, they are so high that there are no trees. They're effectively tundra and permafrost almost up there at the peaks. But that's only the highest 1,000 or 1,500 feet or so, and 2,000 maybe. But so where that is depends on it is. So that might be also why we don't have that many elven realms really far north, because they might not want to live in. But we have snow elves
Right, and
in
that's what I
places
got here is
maybe.
a snow elf article.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Do they live in forests too?
crystal mists.
Ah,
Well, they
gotcha.
may
Okay.
live. They may live in the conifers, right, that are up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But like it says here, um,
The
so
the thinner air, yes, because they
yeah,
need carbon dioxide. So
yeah.
so that's part of the reason too. Yeah. Hmm.
It says their only allies are valley
But
elves.
the primary thing is the cold and the dryness, because
Uh,
in the tropics they grow way higher than they do up north, for instance. But it's definitely part of it, because eventually, even if you have water and sunshine and temperature, you can't grow tall enough anyway. But the temperature cools off more faster than you lose the atmosphere, I think, when it comes to, because trees don't need much. They are very persistent, so to speak.
so it says females are can reach 6'4" and males 7. So
Oh
they're
wow, the
Tolkien
tall ones.
sized
Yeah.
elves. Their only allies are valleys. Drow incited kind of madness and snow elves. So only an overwhelming odds will prevent a snow elf from attacking a drow or drow ally, and they're in the crystal mists. So there you go. I mean, that's and this article's from Dragon 155, so that's where I would go for my snow elf information. I don't use them, but
I've
you're
never been
free
up
Yeah.
to.
there anyway, so yeah.
I remember the article being jazzed about when it first came out, but then I just kind of went back there in in the storage bank.
Back in the storage bank, great. Well,
Yeah.
that's okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Now, if I wanted to do a thematic campaign where you're going to have hard, survivalist type characters in the mountains or up in the Arctic or something, Snow Elf would be on my list.
Okay. Any others, Mike, for you?
Kingdoms?
Yeah. Realms or kingdoms.
No, um, nothing substantial,
This
no.
is only 2025. If you're not on here, I'm sorry. Well, and now why is that blank? It's still loading. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. And some of the oldest trees on Earth are really high up too, because as the living conditions get worse, they grow slower and slower, and that kind of, since they grow so slow,
Yeah.
they can also grow old. So I think some of the oldest trees on Earth are up here in California, and some up in other mountain ranges in the on the planet are some of the oldest trees
Hmm.
that are, we know, are way many thousands of years old. So we know that the big redwoods are really, really old. But some of these small pine trees and other trees that live up in the mountains are as old. They are many thousands of years old. But they grow so slowly that you can come every century and they might have grown half an inch or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Ulick States in Selene, with the Lortmel Mountains smashed in between. Ah.
I'm sure that Pet 68, that's a good point. In a fantasy world, I'm sure druids could definitely work on regional or local magic in order to facilitate bigger trees or something. And
Yep.
elves, maybe they can kind of change the environment. They can kind of or what you call it when you change the
Terraform.
habitability of the place, terraforming, so to speak. They could earthaform or whatever you call it in GREYHAWK. So they might be able to terraform or terraform or earthaform or something. Yep. Yep.
So,
Thank you. Yep.
so really, this is the Dwarven, right? Principality of Dwarven Kingdom.
Yeah, Sweden have some really old trees too up in the mountains that way, but I'm not sure if they're older than the redwoods or older than the really old pine trees up here, but they're definitely part of the equation of old trees. Yep.
Yeah,
Fulufjället. Yep.
it's interesting how long
Yep.
trees can
Yep.
live. It's crazy,
I've been up
actually.
in the Swedish mountains and hiked, and I've seen some of the trees that I know are very, very, very old and definitely part of the equation. Yep. When it comes to the oldest. Yep.
So the Principality Ulick is a Hill Dwarven realm, right? There's as many humans as there are, but it's run by Prince, or you know, separated from Keeland, all three.
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. They are the most detailed, but they were always like some human part of it. Celine is the only one that kind of got unscathed by human intervention, but even they were occupied by Kiev, the Kievish Empire for a while.
Celine?
So, yeah, I think so. From sources, I think they were under Kievish rule. In my campaign,
or
no, but
Keelan just said they were,
yeah,
and the
yeah,
elves are like,
exactly.
No,
yeah,
They
whatever.
claimed it, but they claimed it, but never ruled it or
no,
something. So
the
yeah,
Duchy Ulick was.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Not that I'm aware of. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm
No,
wrong.
yeah,
But
my campaign was not,
yeah,
but I think I've read some room, but that maybe with some fan interpretation. So yeah.
so Duchy Ulick, High Elven, right? Probably one of the least used areas out of
Yeah.
all that I'm aware of. Because you got I find Celine so much more interesting. What the Duchy
Oh
Ulick, and
yes, yeah.
it's definitely you got a lot of humans there too. There's Tringley, home base for the
Hmm.
Gavin show on Sunday nights. The
Yeah.
Lord Peaks Haven bars there. County Ulick is run by a druid, but has a lot of gnomes and halflings. Right? Got a druid ruler with a bunch of gnomes and halflings and a lot of humans in it. So,
It's got to be the most peaceful place on the map, right?
uh,
Ernst is also very peaceful.
no,
Yeah.
my game is a lot going on, right? But not in the
Uh-huh.
not in the plains. But Happy
Oh, you have.
Happy Springs is like Elmshire. Bad things always happen in Happy Springs.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah.
Just asking the players.
But I also think the Ernst seems to be they were unaffected by the wars. They unaffected by a whole bunch of
Yeah,
stuff, and they yeah.
yeah. So there's my free city of Altamira, which has a whole dwarven corridor within it because of the doors of the Lort Mills. And if you all know about the ancient low road and the connections of all the locations of this running through it, with all these old, most of these are no longer, functioning and existed hardcore towers reoccupied in my campaign. In fact, that was added for my campaign to the map, and you got a lot of other all these old areas. The dwarves kind of are in fading in the in power in the Lort Mills. It's a great article. It's in Visions 2. So I think I have that one up here. It's a really good article to take a look at. Visions of GREYHAWK, Volume 2, page 17. Rich Gioia and David Leonard did a great job. I also did some maps in the in Anna style, which I like. So as you can see, this is really cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
I
cool,
took my
yeah, it's a
maps and
really
did
cool
cool
looking
stuff
map.
with them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And look, the low road runs
Which is
all the way down here. It
yeah.
runs
I
really far down.
recommend people to do that. That's why they're Creative Commons. So you could
Yeah,
take them and use them
yeah,
and tweak them until
runs
you
way
like
down
them.
here. So
I'm drawing all over your maps all the time.
That's
Just
yeah,
awesome.
it's
just
That's
amazing. It's
yeah.
amazing.
lines
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
circles
Yeah,
and
Yep.
yeah.
That's the idea.
yeah.
They're supposed to be used and
And as you can
abused
see,
and stuff.
that's
Yep.
a huge distance.
Yeah.
You
To
know,
me, it's like an
it's way bigger
yeah.
than Moria distance wise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Meaning that's enormous. That's 500-600 miles. Meaning,
Yeah,
come on,
yeah,
it's kind of crazy. Yep.
yeah. But a lot of it is, destroyed or whatever. A lot of my adventuring is recovering low road connections. So come to the Animap here. Where should we bring it? It's still up. Come to the Animap here, and you go. And we know we do a lot of adventuring in Wolfmaster Keep. That it's in ruins. The Abet is an entrance into, and that means entrance, right? Abet. So it's an entrance into the into the low road, side passage. Here's Hearthguard Tower, currently active. A lot of other locations. Esmerin is a very interesting location. It's not. It's so isolated. This is really not that far from Altamira. It's stone giants and halflings, right?
Yeah, I think
Crazy.
you
Yeah,
said that. Yep.
stone giants and halflings. So, it's pretty neat. And there's a lot of other areas, and then this area of the Principality is very human. This is that Ritter's March area that's in pictures of Ulick, right, running up and down there. And we all know about the Pomars used to be dwarven lords with some humans, and they lost it all at the end of the Hateful Wars, running out. All the humanoids that were pushed out of the Lord Mills fled east through the Sust, and still use the Sust as a passageway in. Right? Cron Hills, very gnomish. Some Sylvan elves in the areas where there's trees. Halflings too.
Yeah, Kron's a good place. I like
Yeah,
Hmm.
the
yeah.
additions
Yeah.
that Vecna Lives gave to it.
It's also
It
one of the really old locations that have been around since the early days of Village of Hamlet adventure
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff. So
because the Battle of Emerald Meadows was
yeah.
all
Hmm.
different demi-humans fighting
Yeah.
in that.
Meaning it's
Gnomes,
very
halflings, yeah,
early days
elves,
of
yeah,
the GREYHAWK publication
yeah,
history. So yep.
yeah. All right. The clans of the Sylvan Elves are in this, as you can see here. Clan General, Clan, there's four of them. Clan Ellenifel, Fielafel's one, and where's the fourth one?
Yeah, they're from the Ashes, I think.
Yes, they are, and this is
Yeah,
where
they were one of these cards had the heraldry and stuff. So
well,
yeah.
it's right in the book. It's right in the book.
Hmm.
Also,
Yeah.
yeah, you got your Nolly Forest Rangers detailed in here. Also, the Swan Maze are detailed here too. So it's a really great area, as you can
Yep.
see. I use this area a lot too, running through down into Welkwood, and then from the Welkwood down into the Sus, and that leaves Celine, right? Okay. Celine is my pet project there. It's been for years. My Celine may be different than others, and so be it.
are the gnarly forest clans part of City?
No, no, they're all specifically clans are Sylvan. They're Sylvan Oven clans.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're completely individual. Yep. Running in to when you get to like the Welkwood is kind of its own land, own kind of a place where you have a hodgepodge of different elf tribes and not a lot of detail there though, right? There should be a little bit more. See you, Curtis. What's that? Careful you. But through Celine, I showed this a couple weeks ago. You got a great map of Enstad from our
Yeah.
favorite, yeah, really
Hmm.
cool map of Enstad. So Enstad was done up, but I have it that there's noble,
Brokey style. Yep.
yeah, noble and lesser houses of Selene, right? So because it's a Grey Elven, and I have I got all the names, characters, NPCs, and PCs, but I haven't updated it for 2026 yet. So I got to add some more names to this. 10 noble houses of Selene, and then a bunch. There's more than this, but the ones that are named the lesser houses of Selene going down. Yep. There's Silasar. I gotta change that to Selena, as Silasar at page was sex changed from a male to a female if you were at during a wild mage surge. So yeah, there you go. So there's a lot of characters in the campaign, and a lot of the higher up you are on this, the more pretentious you can be for the most part. But it's fun. We have fun with it. Melf is part of Yolan's house, Victrolan. Eleador is Mel's son in my campaign, right? And that's who Luke plays. Whoops, what the hell happened there? Yeah.
So now you realize that now a certain book needs to contain the backstory of how Eleator came to be.
Well, I'm thinking about that in a later book, right? In
Mhm.
book 2 or
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
That'd be a good second story.
How old is Eleator time-wise?
He's
So
half
we know.
elven too.
Yeah. So when are Eleator supposed to have come to
That's a
existence?
good point. I can wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, meaning you need to figure that out
I
for
can do that in
Luke
a
so you
second.
can sort it out for him. Yeah.
I can do that in a second here. So watch. We go here. We go here.
Meaning you get the stories straight here. So
have every
because
single-
otherwise people will complain about that in forever future if that you haven't got that right.
And
Luke
Son
didn't
of
get it
Melf or
right.
Smelf. Okay.
Yeah.
He's only 42, and in my time frame, that's like he was born in the 580s.
He born in the 580s. Okay. Yeah. So he need. Yeah. So Melf still has a few years in 576 to work on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. But yeah, so and that's cool that we he exists there. Sam, yes. Oh, okay. Yolanda did not know that. But yes. So there. Lots of fun role playing opportunities. Certain houses are known for certain things. Pendrell has a lot of outgoing adventures. Vreston is known for its rangers and archers. Yeah. So there's a lot of them that have different feels to them. And then we go to the map here of Selene. Whoops. And they're all noted on all the estates are on the on here, all the way down through just the tip down here, right? And that's where we've adventured just a couple weeks ago. Was at Southern Tree Guard, Golden Tower, and then here's the Sutherland Estate running up. So, Mike, he gave you a sub. Patrick was nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. He got
Thanks,
you.
Patrick.
Yeah.
So, and all interconnected in the 46-year campaign. Enstad is the city of spring flowers. Cool. So you have technically you don't have a official full state of gnomes or halflings anywhere, right? There's towns.
No, I don't think there's any
communities.
official like halfling kingdoms or shires or any of that stuff.
No.
There are 3 elven, Sundi, Selene, and Duchy Ulick. And
Yeah.
there's 2
And then we have the
dwarvish.
Heartlands and others and up there. So yeah.
You got Principality Ulick, and you got the Iron Hills and Iron Gate.
Yeah.
So don't, as Fred whining about Sony's conjugation practices. I don't know what that means, Gary. Sorry, I'm lost on that. Yeah, and just you have this is the most condensed area of demi-humans you have on the map, which is why I was drawn to it. It's too funny. All right, keep my mouth shut. All right, we have a boatload of fun there. We're gonna have a fun adventure tomorrow in the Lort Mills. Show you those pics coming up. All righty, let me just close some things out. All right, what questions do we have or other comments? Gnome Valley in the Outtills, but that's tiny. I think I know what you're talking about.
That's part of the Lost Caverns of Socath adventure. There's a little gnome valley.
Yep. Yeah, the Gnome King's in there, right? There's a little Gnome King, and you can work for him. Yep. Good point. That's good one. Yep. South of Eagles Horn, so it's like in this area here. Yep. Good one. It's a good adventure. You know, the word demi-humans to me indicates anthropomorphic races that tend to live in peace with humans. Well, yeah, I think that's what it means. It means they're allied with humans, tend to be on the side of the humans. Yep, true.
That's a good point, Gary. Yep, they were the ones that were in peace, and the humanoids were the ones that were not. So, yep.
Yeah, but still, the humans probably fought them in the early days too. You know, especially the Iridians, right? You know, I don't know if
Yeah, to some degree, yes, but not on the same way they did with the orcs and others. So, yeah.
well,
US.
we know in the history record that Ulick states declare independence from the Kia land
Hmm.
at a point.
And we had the false wars and the hate, some of the ones that Veluna and Keoland and stuff fought over and stuff. So there've been some, and I'm sure there was some elves and stuff involved there, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that demi-human's just a term.
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
demi-human's a D&D term, really. Don't
Oh
think they're
yeah.
going to use it that much in the game, right? So
No, it's probably not an in-setting term, but I agree, Gary, that is an interesting that it might be a derogatory or something that, yeah, like the Iridian Nail-X Historia writers or stuff like that might have used it or something. So yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's true, Michael. There was only it was 3 alignment before that. You're correct on that. It
Hmm.
was lawful, neutral, and chaotic. That was it. Yeah, you're dead on.
Yep.
It's a good point. It's a real good point. So I love the GREYHAWK flavor that I was talking about that I think got lost in 5th edition because GREYHAWK wasn't the setting, and it just seemed like you know if I want a halfling paladin running around, you can
Well,
have it.
all the setting, we have to realize 5e they got rid of settings. That was a big part of the
Right.
idea. Meaning
Which
settings were everywhere in the 90s. We had all the
right.
settings and so on. And 5e was supposed to be about the rules, and then you had places and stuff, but setting was 5e got rid of it. Now they slowly seem to come back to the idea of game settings.
Right.
But 5e, we've had a decade of them Wizard of the Coast trying to get rid of the idea of a game setting as much as possible.
Yes. My point was though that if you get a 5e person and they don't know what they're playing in their GREYHAWK, they're losing the flavor of GREYHAWK, in
Oh
my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah, because they're just playing
Right.
D&D. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And that's why I think that what we're doing is going to help. And also that there is a lot of flavor for the demi-humans. You just got to know about the background.
yeah. Because that's one of the things that I think you could do way more cool stuff for GREYHAWK with the
Agreed.
demi-humans than you've been done so far. Meaning there've been a lot of meaning Carl Sargent, he did some cool stuff and evolved a bit and so on, but he also did some stuff I did. But that of course everybody you do things you like certain things and you don't like them. But I think there's still a lot of cool stuff that can be done with GREYHAWK, especially in the realm of demi-humans, because they've been kind of neglected
I'll,
and then sometimes treated badly, but mostly just been passed
I'll
by,
give
so
you
to
a
speak.
sergeant thing that I've done 100 times. I'll tell you where it is, right? So, Varnafane, right?
Hmm.
Somehow dwarves, it was a dwarven stopover, and all of the dwarven axes that were in there, and 4 of them have been recovered. In my
Yeah,
campaign, 4 of them have been recovered. Jeremy's character, right, Ryland, his dwarf, the night of the dreams, everyone had some kind of dreams, was dreaming that he had a location and knew that there was one of these axes somewhere in the Lord Mills and he was going to find it, right? So that was a long-term foreshadowing plot arc, and that's a dwarf-based one, developed just from a paragraph and a half that Sergeant put in front of the ashes. It's been going on in my campaign since it came out. So what are we talking about? If that came out in 92, is it 92? From the ashes, we're talking
yeah, I
about
think so. 91, 92, something like
34
that.
years.
Yeah. Hmm.
This plot arc is going on in my game because I love that. It was one of the ones I loved the most out of, and I love all the stuff he did in the Wild Coast. And we're talking about so another you want some small Like if you want go this wyvern in here has a evil dwarven priest of Hexter in it with a band of evil gnomes in it, right? And a whole bunch of humans that basically are there, but they stop every humanoid incursion in, which is kind of cool. And that's in the Slavers book. Very good write up on wyvern in there. So yeah, yep. There's the cockatrice riders. So oh, someone actually said oh, they ride cockatrices. I'm like, no, they have the feathers in their hats of cockatrices. Rob, you ready for tomorrow night? Oh, Gom tomorrow night. And the mission he's probably not going to like. Just makes it even better. There's a world of...
Don't know anything about it.
No, I don't have an answer to that question. Wild Coast is not that detailed along. So Sargent did some good things detailing Safety and Cantona down, but it is pretty empty. So there's a couple like here. This is Patrick's area. The map's in my wall downstairs. Here, this is mine, Sandy Shores. There's places added along, but it's not like the other side of the map. So, hey, Crafty, good to see you. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. You didn't know there were evil gnomes? Yes, there are evil gnomes. Absolutely. Those evil gnomes in Wyvern are really nasty. But
They
like,
seem to pop. It's a GREYHAWK tradition to put in some evil gnomes here and
yeah,
there.
yep. Elves having very much.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't both a Serac and various old Flan
Oh yeah,
rulers
had a
had
bunch
a
of Sarek had a
yeah,
ton of evil gnomes working
yeah,
for him.
and
Oh
there were
yeah.
and Vecna might have had, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Vecna, we can't accuse him, but there were several old Flan rulers that were
Yeah.
horrible that had
Gary, there's a lot of
evil
evil
gnomes.
halflings.
Yeah.
I have, and soon, very soon, with the all-female group, Armed and Dangerous, the half-orc, half-halfling junior will make a reappearance. So, from the mongrels of the putrid tongue. Yep, he's coming. Orcs can breed with anything. No, Sam. No. That's fake. That's fake. No halfling cause. Trying to quit.
But that's a later
That's
invention.
an
So
invention when you've had one too many puffs of your high grade weed.
it's
Yeah.
like when they decided to wipe out 10 at Gen Con
Oh yeah.
2000 or something,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they just decided like, oh, we need to wreck a country, and what about 10?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
they're like, hey, they're all drunk, right? And they're like,
yeah,
well, we've destroyed it 3 times already. What's another time? We're gonna have this ether invasion.
yeah,
These ether creatures are gonna come and just destroy everything
yeah.
that's already there.
Yeah,
I'm
we've
like,
heard that story from several collaborators, so
yeah,
it must be some truth to
Eric
it.
Mona,
Yeah.
SRM, we've heard the story.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jacobs and the Bowman, yeah, we've.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh God, Sam. Sam, you can promote whatever you so choose. Do we miss any other areas?
We can mention one of the last things that I did with Len. We're working a bit on Axewood.
Oh
He
yeah,
wanted
I
to
have
put
that. I
stuff
have
there.
that. Let me
Yeah.
see if I can
Mm-hmm.
find it.
Yep. He put some
Yeah. Well, there's some in
elves
elves.
and some he had some tree ants and stuff in there. So
Oh,
and Silverwood is another one that was mentioned in that part
I
of
don't know
there.
if I'm gonna be able to find this.
But they're not. They're part of the Ulick part. But it could be fun
Here's the
mentioning
map.
it. That was.
Here's his map.
Yep, exactly. That's the. Yep. That was the last time I had a one-on-one Zoom call with Len. We talked about that, and that was like a month before he passed away,
Yep.
I
Here
think,
you
or
go.
something like that.
Here's his stat blocks for everything.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Land in his stat blocks. Axwood, Sheltermore Valley near Neo, Draw, Waybury, and Tringley. So, and this is from version 7 for 2020. That was right when he passed before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah. So,
Yep.
yep. But I have a lot of Sylvan Elves and his character Imri, the original Animire Doctrine character, comes from
Yep.
Axwood.
Axwood.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, there, Michael. See you tomorrow night, and see you sponsoring us Saturday morning. Yep. All right. Calling out the east side for Asher. Anyone else with anything there? We're in the Glorioles, and you can't call it that anymore, or you go to jail, Gary. So
Okay, so during Living Greyhawk, there's a dwarven kingdom called Glorvardum
right
that was written by Creighton Broadhurst, Paul Luby, Stuart Kerrigan.
okay,
It's one
there
of
it
the
is.
mysterious places
Mhm.
that's wrote up
Oh,
on the old Wizards website.
Yep.
what's the name of it? Glorvadum, right there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Glorvardum.
Yep.
Moonbirds.
Yep. I added it from that
Yep, there you
article.
go.
Yep.
Yep. Very cool.
They are allied with the Sunday and the Iron
Mm-hmm.
League, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron
in
League, I always thought was
general
a great
have
idea.
never been conquered
Yeah.
by
That's
the
the
Great
the
Kingdom.
Anbeck Pass that you can take across the mountains to go there. And that's when Kilvangath Peak is from that article too.
Yeah, it's a good thing to see that the map is living and breathing, and lots of
Well, I've
evidence.
changed it, and I have a couple of hundred things lined up to change it again. So hopefully I can get into that after Gen Con. Hopefully everything is hitting at once right now, so it's crazy.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right, 851. We're good. Lots of fun stuff. Look, I missed some small ones, but
Thank you, Andregonda. Tack.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just note that if you want to play a Demi-Human, all right. Besides Zeef, where is name a city with a lot of half-orc population that's regularly playable? I'm not talking about IUs or Spine Castle. What's
Oh,
one?
you're talking about Hardby?
Hardby, yes. Hardby
Yep.
has 10% of its population is half-orc. Yep. They kind of welcome them because they need, the dock workers and stuff. So yeah, Hardby is an area. Whoops.
New York.
Oh, New
That's
York. That's
awesome.
funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
New
Hardby.
York City. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
Hardby is has a lot of half-orcs in it.
Mm-hmm.
So gives you another spot, but you can have works almost anywhere. So, all right, cool. All righty. Anything to say in closing, Anna? Mike, what do you got?
It was a little bit disparate. I realize I should
Yeah.
have been more prepped for this, but yeah. But
Fine.
I think it's one of
Yeah.
these things that there could be more cool stuff, and there's been some cool stuff added. We've had old Elven timelines. Mike did that wonderful map where he
Yeah.
started figuring out what Elven realms used to look like and stuff. So there's definitely more that could be done when it comes to Elven. We have that wonderful map of Enstad and so on and so forth. So there've been some cool stuff, and Carl Sargent did some cool stuff, and others did, and Gary did a bunch of stuff, but it seems to be like a deliberate sidestepping it. It's not what he did was bad. It's just that he could have done more, in my
Oh,
opinion. But I
absolutely.
understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had the Living Greyhawk that did some good and a lot of terrible stuff that was all over the place.
I'll say
Yeah.
this though: in any adventure that Gary wrote, in the back where they have pre-gen characters, there's every race
Oh yeah,
that they
exactly.
had at the
Yeah,
time. They
yeah,
had
yeah.
elves and dwarves and
Oh,
gnomes and halflings.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And D&D always been good on that side. What I'm
Yep.
saying is that it's the setting flavor that was lacking. It's not the rule
Absolutely.
set is always. Yep.
Absolutely. Mike, any final thoughts?
Yeah, like Anna said, disparate. It would have been nice to somehow talk maybe about the relationships between them, like how does high folk view something
Yeah.
and so forth.
That's a
Mhm.
good question, and I think that's all conjecture because I don't think we have that, and that would be a
Exactly.
good
That,
discussion on
yeah.
its own. You
I
know?
think
Yeah.
we should have a
Yeah.
discussion on how do you want to interpret it in your campaign, and
Yep.
Mike in his campaign, and me in my campaign and stuff. But maybe we should do that on a Sunday, or do it on a
Yeah.
Wednesday or something.
Notice I stayed away from that in my chat.
Yeah, I try
With the
to stay.
Principality Ulick and my
Yeah, yeah,
the hell doors between the mountain dwarfs,
yeah.
which don't like each
Hmm.
other, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. I stay
yeah.
away from that.
But
Yeah.
we could use it as examples of what you can do in your
Yeah.
campaign. I
Yeah.
try to stay clear of,
We could
because
do
I
that.
have
I
a
think
whole
that's a
new
good Gavin
idea. Yeah,
discussion. I
yeah.
think
We should
relationships.
have a
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can do so much cool with this, and
Yep.
all of us three have done cool stuff for our campaigns that we can. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. All righty. So, any shout outs, Mike? What you got a cartoon here?
Yeah, I got two.
Two.
Ooh,
All
cartoon.
right. Link them up,
Yes.
brother. Link them in there, and I will.
Yeah, we're gonna finish off. We're gonna finish off under. I
Oh,
decided
all right.
just to give you the
Hmm.
All right.
uh
All right.
the
Under.
conclusion and the epilogue on the
All
Oh.
right.
same day.
All
I
right.
felt that there
Ah.
was no reason to really
Are they
wait
both under
So
for the
the
epilogue.
37?
fighting is.
Both of
Oh.
them are here? Oh, there we
No,
go. Okay. I gotta link them both up.
37, 38. That's it.
Okay, give me a sec here. All
So
right.
Sneak attack.
next week we'll be back to
Oh
cultists.
crap. All right, hold on one sec. I just closed 37. Shit.
He looks grumpy. He looks
One
very
second.
grumpy.
I can't believe I did that.
He
One
looks
second.
super grumpy. Yeah.
He looks
It's
super
always
grumpy.
grumpy.
One second.
Oh yeah, but he looks extra grumpy,
He
and
looks
he's so cute.
extra.
Oh yeah, but yep.
There we go. 37. All right, link that up there.
Well, they just got done finding a shadow dragon.
Okay. There we go. Got it. All righty. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, he's got cuts on the top of his head. That's perfect. Got cut, the dragon clawed him
The
there.
dragon was
Yeah.
clawing him.
So they're all hanging out and just and then he's got the
He don't need healing. He don't want treasure.
so he's like oh, and then so that's why he came here, huh?
Yes, the whole point was to free his deep gnome clan.
There you go. We're being enslaved by the shadow dragon.
Right.
Look at that. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's
With a
great.
tear. You're
Yeah.
very
Oh
nice.
yeah, one tear comes at the
One
end.
One tear.
tear.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Nice. Awesome. All right.
So then there's the epilogue.
Oh.
Because a while back he sent off the rest of his buddies. He sent them away.
Are they
Mhm.
germline?
So there's the Germlane
Right.
goes back to his clan.
Right.
The Myconid goes back to his clan.
Right. Yeah. That
The
is
dark elf who fell into the chasm
that's a Quaggoth.
is
Right.
rescued. Mhm.
Right, by a Quaggoth,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
then
the Kutoa goes back to his clan.
there
Yeah.
you go. Blub, blub, blub.
And he's so cute when he plays for the fungus. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Fungal tar. Yeah. Mhm.
That's funny.
So
Nice.
Yeah.
yeah. So I wanted
great.
to do something about the Underdark, and there we go.
Yes.
Now you've done it. Yep. Hmm.
Now I have done it.
Speaking of
Oh,
that,
so cool.
and anything to shout out.
I just need to make a big sorry. Everything hitting me at once. I have the Melf stuff that is kind of wrapping up, and I have a new commission that was decided 2 years ago that I'm ramping up.
Wow.
So I'm right now I'm stuck in between two. So it's been crazy, but hopefully it will be crazy for probably another 3 weeks, and after that then I will it will be. But it's not that I'm not doing stuff for it's just that I don't have anything to show yet. But what I will show will be super, 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 super cool. So it's coming. It's coming,
Awesome.
but it takes a little while. But yeah, so I'm sorry. But there will be a stream on Friday because I'm basically doing as much as possible. So I'm pushing 10-hour days every day. I've done so for several weeks and probably do it for another month. Just getting as much as possible done, so to speak. But I don't want to, I want it to be really, really good. So I don't want to hasten it. So I do that for commissions, but not for this.
Okay.
Yep. And also we'll see. It might be I don't know what will end up in the Melf's guide and what will not. So we'll see. So
That's a lot of
I'm
that going around right now.
exactly. So therefore I'm hedging my bets, and that's why I want to do a lot of extra. But what extras will come straight to the Patreon stuff. So that will be for everybody. So that's why I don't want to show too much right now, because we will see what will end up where,
Yeah.
so to speak. So yep.
Okay.
So
And
that's the
you're on Friday.
Yep, I'm on Friday. So if you want a sneak peek on stuff, check in on Friday. Yep. But I will definitely post some screenshots more and stuff. I did a quip the other day, and I will do more soon.
Back to Rob's favorite place, the stairs to nowhere in the middle of the Lort Mills. Now,
Mm-hmm.
last time they were there, this is all burnt, and if they're lucky, they could get pieces of marina scraped off of this if they wanted to. Remember, they threw you
Yeah.
guys threw the other body decapitated off on this, but that is the adventure. There we go, just the whole thing on the board,
Yeah.
ready to rock and roll for tomorrow. And yes, they
Oh,
they will be.
we
I'm
can mention me
Mhm.
and Stephen Radney McFarland are on the Dungeon Delver show tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific, so 9 p.m. Eastern.
Cool. Okay.
Yep.
Is that on YouTube?
Yep, on YouTube. Yep.
Very cool. All right, so Crane, Myriad, Show Me the Dice, Amanda, Cherry Blossom, Gianna, and Rob, Phantom NJ for tomorrow with one NPC. Crane's got a character she hasn't played in 3 years, Glenny of House Relforced, a priestess of Arleth Atherinal, and that's from that same Dungeon 155. That is the Dark Elf Hunter, Elven God. Yep. So she's asking your group to come with her and on a mission. Troller game giveaways, and then Saturday we will have number 1184, and that is a favor return. Mariette, Mandy, Cork, and Rob at least. Excuse me, 11 a.m. on Saturday, then again on Sunday night. All right. All right, let's do the giveaway. Classic D&D reprints, your choice of 2. All right. Whole bunch. Savage, I still have yours here. I'm gonna get out tomorrow with this one. All right. So yep, get in there, exclamation point drawing. And then we're gonna find someone to read into. I think Crane, who's Grace, who's playing, is on right now. So I may go to Troller. I don't think any other stream team members are on. Let me just double check that. Oh, Vi's on too. All right. So, but Trollord's on, so we'll go to Trollord if they're still on at that time. All right, here we go. Let me do this. One giveaway for 2 items. Yeah, get in on that, David. Yeah, of course. Of course. All right, here we go. Cloudbot. Giveaway. Closing it out. Winner is Jeremy Astrolyre. Grats, man. I'm gonna have to go obscure. How about, do you have X11? Saga of the Shadow Lord. I'm just trying to figure out stuff you don't have. X11, and how about and this one? Oh wow. Yeah, just let me know. X11, and here's CM9, Legacy of Blood, Steve Perrin and Kathleen Kerr. There. How about those? I'm just trying to figure out stuff you don't have. So let me know if those are good. All right, you don't have either? If you don't, I'll send them. Cool. That was easy. See?
Good.
All right, cool. All right, Mike, Anna, thank you. See you guys later on. See you tomorrow night at 7.
Later.
Saturday at 11, and then Sunday
Yep.
night at 7. So let's hit the raid in and give her a nice healthy raid. We'll say hi to her because we'll be seeing her tomorrow night. Hit the wrong button, maybe. Boom. Awesome. Setting the raid up. Thanks for all the followers. We've really been inundated with a lot of followers lately. Really, almost to 14,500. I really appreciate it. Alrighty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you tomorrow night. Thank you all. Appreciate it.